Say you're interested in analyzing the distribution of monthly returns of Ford Company. You downloaded the monthly stock price of Ford between 1977 and 2006 from CRISP. The first step is to convert all the monthly stock prices into return measures. Here I'm using the log return, which is log of this month price over the previous month price. And then you can use the fill handle option to fill out the rest of the column for you. Once you computed the monthly returns, you have to figure out the range of the returns during this time period by using max and min function so that you know where your bins will start and end. The next step is to create bins. You want the borders of your smallest and biggest bins to marginally stretch over the limits of your data range so that all the values in your data range can fit into the bins you created. For instance, the minimum of Ford's monthly returns is negative 65.5%. So I want my smallest bin to start at negative 66%, just small enough to include all the smallest return in the data range. Similarly, I want my biggest bin to stop at 32%. Again, just big enough to fit in the maximum monthly returns in my data range, which is 31.46%. Once you set the boundaries for your bins, you can start to carve out the width of your bins. You can make the width of your bins wider or narrower, depending on the range and the number of the observations in your data. You don't want your bins to be too full or too empty. In this example, since I have a wide data range from negative 65.5% to 31.46%, I want my bins to be relatively wide, so I don't have to create too many bins to fit those return data. Once your bins are ready, you can start to use the frequency function to sort all those returns into their respective bins. To use the frequency function, you have to include two different arguments. The first argument is data array in reference to what is the variable that you want to sort into bins. In this case, my data array is my monthly returns. So in the first argument, you have to select the entire monthly returns for Ford. And the second argument in the frequency array function is bins array in reference to what is the range of the bins that you have created. So you have to select the entire bins array as a second argument. And once you have complete frequency function, you can use Control-Shift-Enter to do the computation for the first bin. And once you computed the value for the first bin, then you can press down Shift key on the PC and then down arrow button to select the range for the remainder of the bins for you. The next step is to press F2 to reactivate the formula for this array function so that Excel knows which function it's going to use to compute for the rest of the column. And after that, you're going to press Control-Shift-Enter again to finish the computation for the remainder of the column for you. Now, you have already sorted out all the return measures into their respective bins. Let's look at what this means. So for instance, this number is 1, so which in reference to there is only one value that is greater than 66%, but smaller or equal to negative 64%. And this value here, 31, is in reference to there are 31 return data that are greater than 0%, but smaller or equal to 2%, and so on and so forth. Once you figure out how the return data are distributed, you can plot the frequency column to replicate this plot here. This plot shows what is the return distribution of Ford between January of 1977 to December of 2006. And as you can see, since I have enough data points, the return of Ford follows a roughly normal distribution.